Hello and welcome to Revit for BIM training seminars, session 1, the basics, part 7. We're going to look at roofs, hip, gable and dormer to start with. Okay, so jump back to Revit. This is where we left off before. I'm going to reset this wall, which I edited in the previous session by clicking reset to change it back to its original. I'd like to show you a quick feature. Because I changed my wall type for demonstration purposes earlier, I'd like to show you from the Modify tab I can match properties, and this is a very quick way. If you've got something in if you've got a family type such as that wall or a window or a door, and you've got another object and you wish to match them, from Modify, this paintbrush icon here allows you to select the one that is correct and select the one you'd wish to change, and it matches properties. Very useful. Okay, I'm going to quickly jump into an elevation view and change my roof height by double clicking slowly on the dimension or the height marker and change that down to 8,000 mil, just to give it a bit more realism. Okay, so we're ready to start putting a roof on. The first thing to do is go to the roof floor plan. So we're looking down onto the floor plan and it's greyed out, and that's because it's as though you are standing on the roof level looking downwards on the building, and none of the construction so far is actually up and into the roof height, so this greys out because it's showing you it's below, but we can use it to set out, and that's what we'll do first. So from the architecture tab, quickly click down the roof button. There's roof by footprint, extrusion and face. In this video we're going to look at footprint and extrusion. We'll look at face later, so we'll start with the footprint. So click on that. Notice we've got the red cross and the green tick. We are in one of those commands again where you can define the edges using lines and arcs. But for this purposes we're going to use the pick walls, because we have walls to base our roof outline on. Notice here there's an overhang, and let's actually use this for now. 300mm overhang is quite appropriate, and as you hover your mouse near a wall you get a preview of where that overhang is going to be and where the edge of the roof is going to be. But notice if you come inside the building, the overhang will be inside the building, which isn't what we're after. So carefully come in with your cursor from outside the building, and as you approach it you'll get the preview, then click. Do the same for all four. You'll see that the corners tidy themselves up and give you a connection. Okay, now before we hit the green tick, I want to highlight a few things in the properties. At the moment the property is set, there's a few different types. The type of ceiling doesn't matter for that, the type of roof, sorry, doesn't matter for now, but the slope angle is what I want to draw your attention to. At the moment it's 30 degrees, and we could change that right now, and that would affect all four edges of your hip roof. I'm going to hit escape a couple of times to come out of that. Notice I'm not outside the command completely, but that allows me to select individual lines, and this is important for I can now make a change there if I didn't want that to be 30 degrees. So if it's got an angle on it, that means it's going to be at an angle, and the angle is referred to by a number. Okay, so let's just do this, and let's just hit tick to start with. Before we do, sorry, look over into properties. Base constraint is roof, and that's very important. The bottom of our roof will be on the roof level, and then we'll be moving up above it. So you need to understand you're doing that before you do it. So let's hit the tick and see what it gives us. Jump to the 3D view and you'll see that it is a hip roof all the way around, and the angles are 30 degrees. If we select it, we still see that slope angle, and we can change it there. If we could have 15 and we'll get a shallower roof, or we can manually drag the height up and it starts changing its form. So let's take it back to 30 degrees and we get it back to the way it was. So I'm just going to undo actually using Control Z. Okay, let's just change the roof type to warm timber insulation over, which if we zoom in is a tiled roof with a fascia on it. Okay, so this is a hip roof. If we would like to turn our hip roof into a gable-ended roof, we can do it in 2D or 3D. I prefer to actually do this in 3D. So set your view up so you can see it roughly like that, or you can click on that button there, so the corner of your view cube. Select the roof by grabbing one of the edges and then hit Edit Profile. So again we're back to this environment. Now if I select an end line, I want to draw your attention to this tick box, defines slope. If I untick that, the angle symbol disappears, and that turns it from a hip to a gable end. So I'm going to do the same for both ends. I'm going to leave 30 degrees as an angle and I'm going to tick. So you see, by taking off the defined slope, it no longer has a pitch running from that that point there upwards. Okay, quick bit of tidying up here. We can extend these walls into the space that's now left by selecting a wall. When you select any wall, attach and detach are two options. We saw Edit Profile before, you could use that, but a quick way of doing it: attach top and base, read the command line down the bottom if you're unsure how to do it, select the roof, floor, ceiling or parallel walls to which the selected should join. I'm going to click on the roof, and you can see if I click off that it's extended into it, and I can repeat for the other end. So I'm selecting the wall, selecting attach, and then selecting the roof I'd like to attach it to. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is creating a dormer roof. Now this is a little bit tricky, and the process of it is, if you follow along, you'll see where I'm coming from with it. Okay, to start a dormer roof, the best thing to do is draw 3 walls. So let's get some wall tools going, and I'm up on the roof level, and you'll see what I mean now. Unconnected height of 4 meters. That's probably about right, but we can change that afterwards. What I'm going to do is this, in a clockwise direction. Now I'm not being particularly accurate. You can be as accurate as you like with this. Okay, I'm going to jump to 3D to see what I've got. So I've got 4 walls coming up and over. Actually, did stud walls, don't want to do that, so I'm going to change it to actually I'll match properties instead. So I'll match properties of that with that, and that. Now they are no longer 4 meters, they are 8 meters. Change that down in the properties. So you see, things are quite quick and editable, and I'm going to further change and edit that to bring it down to a realistic height afterwards. Okay, the reason you start using the walls first is because we've now got a face which we can draw our dormer roof on. We'll go for a gable-ended dormer for now, and I'll show you what I mean. So from the Architecture tab, go to Roof, but drop down and use Roof by Extrusion, and you'll see the graphic does a little bit of a demo as to what this can be used for. This is a very good tool for creating contemporary shapes. So by clicking that, it's asking me to work on a work plane. A work plane can be thought of as a piece of paper that you're about to draw a 2D line on. Pick a plane. Okay, I'm going to pick that plane. I get a blue preview, and I just OK that for now. So everything's greyed out. If I hit show, that should turn blue. That means that that's my piece of paper. That's my face I'm about to draw on. Okay, I would jump to the front face on my view cube so I can see it quite accurately, and I'm going to use my lines. I'm just going to do this by, I'll try and line up roughly with the midpoint here and draw a line that way. I can escape twice, select that line, use my mirror and draw an axis. So because it was selected, it's mirroring, and now I'm going to go vertical with my line, so you see how I can mirror that over. Now, unlike defining a floor, you don't have to do a closed polyline to define this. You have got a system, and you are defining the top of that system by these two lines. So press tick. Jump to 3D to see what happens. Oh, sorry, you are in 3D. Jump to the top of the view cube. Now, at first you get a long roof that's going to go all the way through the building. I'm going to change it to the same roofing type. I'm going to offset a little way. Of course I could be as accurate as I like, but the trick to doing this now is this back one here, pull it all the way forward, quite far forward, so you've got a small sliver of roof. Okay. Once you've got that, if you go to the Modify tab, there is a button specifically for doing this, join and unjoin roofs. So click on that and read the command line. Select an edge at the end of the roof that you wish to join. So I'm going to find that back edge there. Then it says select the face on the other roof to which you want to join. So that would be that one. You can see it's highlighted in blue, the main roof. And you can see that that's extended the roof over. Simple thing now is to select a wall. I can hover over this wall and use my tab key to select the chained walls, attach top, and then select that roof. It's a bit inaccurate at the moment. If I pull this line back, it'll disappear under my roof. See how I did that there? I grabbed it and then grabbed a little blue tagline and just started pulling it a little bit. I'm now finding it level with the other one. It's not perfect, but I'm going at speed. So you can see that's a dormer. You've got a wall which can house some window systems if you like. Okay, it's quite useful to do that. Problem: the roof underneath is not a room which you would want for a dormer. It's still a solid roof. So we can fix that by using the specific button on the openings section of the architecture tab. There is an opening for a dormer window. So if you select it, read the command line again, select a roof to be cut, select that roof there, that's the one we're going to cut, and it turns into one of these commands which is defining a boundary. So we're defining where the hole is essentially. So pick roof walls. So this is why you need all of this structure to start with. Let's pick that first, and you'll see you get a pink line at the back where the two things meet. I'm going to pick this side face. I'm going to pick this front face, and I'm going to come under a little bit and pick that wall there. Now that's a tricky bit. Actually picking the walls, the correct walls. Escape once to deselect. Now I'm going to tidy things up by using my trim and extend to click on the parts of the pink line I want to keep. So that's the trick to doing it. So click on the bits you want to keep, and I tend to go all the way around just to make sure all of those lines are joining neatly at the corners. When I'm happy with that, click tick, and you can see I have a room underneath. I can prove that by selecting this roof, right clicking and saying hide element in view. And there you go, I have a hole underneath. If I want to bring that roof back, I can turn on this small light bulb down on the bottom row, which shows all hidden elements. I can right click on it again and say unhide in view. It brings back, close that light bulb down, and I'm back into. That's how you hide and close, and reveal elements within a view. We're going to look at that more. Okay, so that's the end of this section. Thank you very much.